Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Today guys, of course, we're continuing the journey of the Batman. This is the Batman Season 4, Episode 7, titled Artifacts. I like that title, Artifacts. So last week's episode, oh my god, I'm still thinking about it. It was so insane how they executed the story, how they told that story, how they progressed it, and then that twist ending. Holy crap, because I honestly believed that there was a zombie outbreak in Gotham. I honestly believed it was happening because this show has done some crazy storylines throughout its run so far, and even the film with Dracula, and there was a Dracula would turning people into vampires. I'm like, oh my god, they're actually doing a zombie outbreak. No. Batman and Robin were both infected by Hugo Strange dropping that vial, and they were both turned, and they believed everybody else was zombies. And of course, at a point, Batgirl saves Robin and everything, and Batman's there at the end believing he's the last human alive in Gotham, essentially, without being turned into a zombie. Now, I thought about this too. I didn't think about this too much in the review after watching the episode, but I thought about it, and I'm like, this is a good little moment too when you think back on the episode and the context of it all. When Batman and Robin are infected, but they believe, of course, everyone else is starting to get infected by zombies, they're talking to Alfred in the Batmobile, right? Alfred, of course, in the Batcave. They hear him, they don't see him, and so that's how they kind of feel a little nugget, because when they actually show up at the Batcave, Alfred is infected. But they heard his voice, they didn't see him, so they thought he was fine. Just little things like that. And then, of course, at the end, Batman pieces it all together. Why would Hugo Strange send me to the GCPD, go to the police lockup area or whatever, and get the cure? Like, why would he do all this? Like, why would he, teliberately tell me to do this? Then, of course, he broke away from the visions or whatever, I forget exactly what it was, I guess it was like a toxin type thing or whatever. I don't know if he ejected something, I can't remember exactly on that point, but it's insane how they told the story. It is so good, and this is why I love this show so much, because they had me believing throughout the majority of the episode there's a zombie outbreak in Gotham, and I believed it. So let's get into now, guys. Let's check out this episode and see what they show us here with Artifacts. I love this show so much. We're getting closer to the end, but we still have some more to go, thankfully. But let's get into now, guys. Let's check it out. Artifacts. Let's go.
We're through. We found it.
I was about to say, what?
We found the Batcave.
What?
The date is August 8th, 3027.
3027? What?
We think this was some kind of primitive computer, but
This was just the user interface. Do you know how old this tech is? What you're asking is impossible.
It's old. Yeah.
Find a way.
you know, when
It's
I was
crazy.
a kid, my father read Tales of the Bat to me every night before bed. It's exactly
That's different.
how I imagined it.
2027, okay.
Romance
Gray.
novels,
The Gray.
comics.
I read Oracle, loud and clear.
Oracle?
Ever think that's Mother Nature's way of telling you that you should be playing bingo right now?
Oh my god!
Today it ends.
Oh shit, Mr. Oh wait, it makes sense. It's snowing. Mr. Freeze. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Try again, Batman.
Didn't work.
We didn't pierce the exosuit.
Jeez, he's really more powerful now, it seems. Ooh. Whoa. What?
The Dark Knight returns.
That didn't work out, did it? Ooh. I don't know how he's gonna fight this. Ooh. Exactly. Destruction. Here it comes. He's in pain. He's getting too old. Oh shit.
A man's life is at stake. That plane needs to land.
He doesn't care.
Land it will.
He can barely see out of that now. Lining it all up. Wow.
That's more like it. It must have cost a fortune. Who was this Batman? We'll probably never know. The details have been lost to time.
He was the Batman,
No.
which means his wife Martha may have been the Batwoman, and their young son Bruce the Red Robin.
The Red Robin?
What?
No.
I'll show you. Vacuum sealed. Perfectly preserved. Look how small the Red Robin's uniform is. I never realized Batman's partner was so young.
Flame-proof cybernetics and a shatter-proof internal liquid nitrogen.
Oh, so you really decked it out.
It's why your cold medicine didn't work.
Robin? Ooh!
Maybe you didn't get the memo.
He's Nightwing! course he is.
Known by
Of course he is.
for,
Of course he is.
about a decade or so.
Mayday!
They're trying to get help. Yep. Here comes the plane. Jesus. That's working?
I've alerted Commissioner Yen and Chief Bennett that the pilots have it their way. They've evacuated
What?
the airport and their men have the place surrounded.
Sit this one out.
No, he
I can
can't.
handle Freeze.
He can't do that.
Maybe it's time to pass the torch.
I'll pass the torch when the mission's over. You brought that plane down for a diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Diamonds are the hardest substance in the world, Batman. I knew it was the only thing that...
So he wanted this
Think you got one more
unique
in you, man?
diamond to
I'm
have
just
it
hoping you can keep
snow
up,
forever?
Robin.
Holy crap. He literally built like a weather machine like in Ben 10 Alien Force. If you're watching that with me, you know what I'm talking about. Oh! I wasn't expecting that.
You've given this city all you have to give. Now it's time to sleep.
We've made a number of important historical
kinda crazy.
discoveries.
Forget history. Find
What's
something
happening?
and find it fast. Before New Gotham enters another ice age.
Wait, what? So Batman failed? It seems? Maybe?
Frost, Mr. Frost.
An antique wheelchair. The Waynes employed an Alfred Pennyworth for decades who would have been quite old near the end.
Come in, Nightwing.
I'm assuming at this point Alfred's
There's still
passed
no answer,
away.
Alfred. Radio
What?
must be down.
Oh!
He's always seemed to think he wasn't doing his job.
I didn't expect him to still be alive. I just said that. I feel bad. I'm sorry. Oh. So it's starting to freeze over now.
Just wanted to check in on you.
Oh.
You know, with everything that's going on.
You never stood a chance against me, Batman.
I mean, don't count him out just yet. It's Batman we're talking about. Yeah.
Fire on himself? Oh dear.
Exactly. It's not over. Oh.
Thanks for the ice pack, Freeze. All you did was numb the pain.
I like that. Here he comes. Oh.
Diamonds cut even the hardest glass. How's that for poetic justice?
If I got to use it. Wow, the color.
Oh no.
Really? Okay, he just murdered Mr. Freeze.
No sign of Freeze.
Which means the mission isn't over.
I think he's dead, though. I don't know. That's assumed. How is he still alive after that?
Until someone wakes me up.
That's how he comes back in 1,000 years. He was cryogenic or whatever. He went into a tube.
This machine just wasn't built to hold code for 1,000 years. The memory engrams are
That sucks.
hopelessly degraded.
The titanium Batman knew that couldn't survive on his primitive computer, so he found another.
Oh my god, really?
If you're viewing this message,
Wow.
I can only assume one thing. The mission isn't over.
Beautiful.
1,000 years in the future. Jesus.
I love the future.
The cold must be numbing your brain.
What? What is happening?
It can't be.
Is he
Freeze.
I think it's all in his head, I think. Oh? What the fuck? Oh.
Time changes nearly everything, but the mission
Oh,
and
that's
the
cool.
legend of the Batman lives on.
This was so unexpected. I was not prepared for what this episode actually was. I'm like, okay, so another episode of Batman. We're jumping ahead over 1,000 years in the future to 3027. Then we're flashing back to even further ahead than the actual show itself, timeline-wise, to 2027 with an older Batman, Nightwing, and Oracle. Oh my god. And a leveled up Mr. Freeze. Yeah, I said it. Leveled up, whatever. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then Mr. Freeze wakes up 1,000 years in the future in 3027. That's why they search for the Batcave in the first place in the future. Okay. So I want to talk about the 2027 stuff first. I feel like that was the most interesting aspects of it. And then we'll talk about the 3027 stuff in the second half of this review. So 2027, I love how like insanely tank like a tank version essentially. Like it's an insane tank version of the Batmobile. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's the point I'm trying to get to. It's been a day. Apologies, but I love it. Love the design of it. The bat suit on him looks great. It's of course reminiscent to his bat suit from the original timeline we've been following in the show, but you can tell there's some changes here. And then the subtle reference of The Dark Knight Returns, very like, oh, I see what you're doing there, because he's like, The Dark Knight Returns. I'm like, Mr. Freeze, we got you, we got it. So, cutting to Oracle. He even actually says that before we actually see him in the new suit and everything. We see the gray in his hair a little bit, but it cuts to her. She's sitting there in the Batcave, and I'm presuming Alfred is dead. Alfred's still alive at this point. I'm shocked by that, but I'm great that he's still around. It's great, right? Because once Alfred goes, that's a major shift in Bruce's life, I would assume, in any iteration of the comics, so that's really tough. So Alfred's still there. Barbara is now Oracle. She's wearing a necklace that has her emblem of Batgirl, which is a great little touch there. And I think she has like purple gloves as well. So from what I remember, I have to go back and look at her outfit again. But like purple gloves that kind of like, okay, so she's kind of like some Batgirl in the mixes there. Well, and Jim, her father, still doesn't know. He's like, well, the secret job or whatever. It's like he still doesn't know. I kind of think at a point he should know what she's doing, but there was no hint that he actually knew. He was just like, well, you want something about this secret job or whatever, and so it's like, okay, he doesn't know. Nightwing. Love the fact that he's not. It makes sense. Timeline-wise, he has to be Nightwing. So I like the fact we got to see that. And we also touched on, too, and the fight between Mr. Freeze was really, really good as well. It was really well done, because when we first got introduced to Mr. Freeze in this continuity in this show, he was really overpowered, and Batman had to make his own Arctic, like, white suit, which is a really cool suit design, by the way. Love that suit. He had to create that special suit to go against Mr. Freeze the first time. So now with Mr. Freeze being even more decked out, and he even explained how he had all these added stuff to the mix or whatever, and he's bigger in the suit. It's a bigger suit overall. He's way more powerful. And so Batman, who's now older, and they made several points to point out where he's, like, complaining about how tough this was. And even Mr. Freeze saying that, you know, like you gave so much to the city, it's time to rest. You've gotten older, time has worked against you. All like they kept referencing how he's older and how he's struggling. He's still kicking ass, still taking names, but he is still struggling as the Batman because he's getting older. And this is kind of what happened within Batman Beyond, because the opening of that show, he literally was in the Batman Beyond suit, and he literally picked up a gun, because he literally couldn't do anything else. He was struggling that hard, and he realized at that moment he needs to quit. Now, see, this Batman is not there yet, but he is getting to that point where he is not going to be able to continue. But he says to Dick Grayson, because he's like, at some point you're going to have to retire and give someone, you're going to have to stop. It's like, I'll retire or I'll quit when the mission's done. Which basically implies the mission's never over. It's never done. And he even says, because Nightwing even says, the mission is never done. It's never done. Because I thought Mr. Freeze died when the Batwing slammed into him. I'm like, oh, there's no way he survived this. And then Nightwing's like, good job, old man, or whatever. And he says, and no sign of Mr. Freeze. That means the mission isn't over. I get it. Bruce doesn't want to stop. He can't stop. It's who he is. This is literally who he is. And to see, like, and to think how much, like, I don't know what year it is within, say, season 4 of the Batman, or even when season 1, I don't know how much time has passed from these stories we've been following so far up to this point in 2027, but I think it would have been interesting if we would have maybe saw some other characters. They had a little mention of Yin and Bennett, by the way. They mentioned them. Oh, like Oracle said their names. We didn't see them though. That sucks. But I wonder like, what does Penguin look like now? Like, is Penguin still out there doing stuff? Has he retired? Is Joker still out there? I got questions now. I got questions about this timeline. And is this pretty much confirming this is actually going to happen? Because in 2027, like, they're not, it's flashing back to 1,000 years prior, of course, or whatever, but the implication is that what occurred actually did happen, right? Because Mr. Freeze set up that weather machine. He went into cryogenic tube or whatever. I think that was correct naming for it, whatever, for 1,000 years and came back, right? And he was unthawed. Who unthawed him? They never answered that question. But I really enjoyed the 2027 stuff. It was really cool to see older Batman kind of like Dark Knight Returns. They definitely, like I said, they made a hint to that. And the action sequences and Batman kicking ass and turning the tables. Because Mr. Freeze was really kicking his ass. He was really proving. But then again, Mr. Freeze was solely relying on his suit, and Batman is literally using his body. When Mr. Freeze is hiding behind the suit to do all the work for him. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference there. So, of course, Mr. Freeze is like saying, oh, you're old, time is against you. It's like, but you're relying on this suit to do everything for you, and Batman's relying on his body to continue pushing him forward to stop you and other people like you. And of course, this whole thing about this like diamond or the special diamond, and he creates a whole weather system to Gotham. Like, of course, typical Batman storyline in regards to the Batman, the show, because it's so over the top. The idea of like, oh, here's this giant ray gun, and I'm going to make a weather machine. It's going to be Arctic forever. I'm going to be in the frozen kingdom. It's like, all right. Of course it is. But it was really cool. I loved it. I wish we could see more. I would love to see more. I doubt we'll see this again, but I really liked it. Really did. So 3027, them finding the Batcave. I was waiting for a reveal that I guess it would have been too cliche to have revealed that one of these people, like one of the two main characters we're following in the 3027 timeline, that they're related somehow, or they mention a name. But they do mention they think Thomas Wayne was the Batman, and that his son was Red Robin, and that Bruce's mom and Thomas's wife was Batwoman. It's like, Batwoman? Okay. No, that's not true, but okay. But they were just, they didn't know. But I was waiting for like them to go, well, something Wayne or something Grayson or something Gordon, but nothing was like, I didn't hear anything unless I hope I didn't miss it. But I didn't hear anything like that. Like, maybe that would have been too cliche. Maybe it would have been. But then them trying to figure out, like, turning on the computer again, the computer wasn't going to last. Batman even knew that. That was a smart little thing there, too. Because they saw that titanium, steel, or whatever, and there's binary code on it. So they were able to translate it, and they were able to talk to a video of Bruce Wayne, Batman, and he had a contingency plan, essentially, or something to where he knew people were going to be finding him. Because I like how he starts the message off saying, if you're watching this, that means the mission isn't over. Like, you're right. 1,000 years later, the mission is still not over. And so when we start hearing Bruce's voice, when Mr. Freeze is out there freezing shit 1,000 years in the future, he loves the future. I'm like, there's no fucking way that Batman's alive. And then there's like 5 of them, and they all like hologram stuff. And they kind of, I guess, knew what to say to throw Mr. Freeze off, because literally he couldn't believe that 1,000 years in the future, there's Batman. It was all a trick. It's really well done, though. It's really well done, that aspect. And then and I'm guessing they put that statue in the Batcave, because I didn't see that before when they were in, until at the end of the episode when they pan up to it with the camera. You see the gigantic Batman statue. I'm guessing they added that in. I'm guessing. This is good. This is good. I wasn't prepared for a gigantic time jump to the future and then seeing an older Batman and Oracle. And makes me think they didn't want to explain too much. I mean, obviously with the implication that Barbara's Oracle, Killing Joke, or a version of the Killing Joke occurred. And of course, Nightwing over time becomes Nightwing. I like the little banter too where Barbara like, didn't want to call him Nightwing, still calling him Robin. I think even Bruce did that too, as well as calling him Robin. So, a little banter back and forth. There's a lot of unanswered questions. But I think that was the whole point. You don't want to give too much away. But also, here's what I will say. Thinking more on it now as I'm thinking through this episode, I think I would have preferred just a 2027 episode without the 3027 stuff. It's crazy that Mr. Freeze was cryogenic, frozen for 1,000 years, but I would have loved to have seen a 2027, or better yet, because we had the Batgirl Begins Part 1 and Part 2 in Season 3 or whatever. We've had two-parters. Was there other two-parters than that? Maybe not. But anyways, I would have loved to have seen a two-parter in this timeline. 2027, not 3027. 2027. That'd be really cool to see, like, so much time in the, like, so much of a time jump that we get to see all these characters, or more characters than we actually saw. And I understand the structure of it all because Mr. Freeze and everything, but I kind of would like to have seen more characters, in this time jump. Where are they at? What's going on? Maybe we get to see more of Bruce, not being Batman, but, I get it because it's structured a certain way, but I would have liked to have seen it. That's just my opinion. Anyways, so overall, really good shit. Was not expecting this episode, but it freaking delivered. It delivered on some really crazy moments. Really cool to see a little bit of a time jump with Oracle, Batman in his new suit. He's older and he's struggling, but hey, it happens. And Nightwing. It was really cool to see that. It was really cool. So yeah, I guess we got to see a glimpse into what was going to be their future. And I'm curious to know how long Barbara was Batgirl before the Killing Joke situation. I'm curious. I'm guessing early adulthood. I have no idea. So I'm not sure how old she is now compared to the show right now, and then how much of the time jump, like how much, I have no idea. So I need to figure out that time gap. Maybe you guys will let me know. Maybe. So that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm curious to know your thoughts about this episode. Let me know in the comments below, guys. It was really well done. I cannot wait to see the next episode. I love this show so much. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.